Well, welcome this week. We want to welcome you back, and we again are excited for this series that we've kind of taken on to help us understand the vision of what's going on at Crosspoint Community Church here in Walmingham, Kansas. And so today we're talking about women's ministry. It's a vital part of what we do in our church, and we're excited for what's happening. Some different things are growing in that, some different things have taken off, and some different structuring that's happening. And so I'm going to have Michael talk about that a little bit more.
Women's ministry is right now a model for the structure and involvement that people can have in a single focus at Crosspoint. We have Bible studies, we have outreach, we have mentoring, and then we have women's events where they can gather and fellowship. The Bible studies meet weekday mornings, usually Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or all three, and are facilitated by gifted leaders that love people and that want to see them grow and know Jesus. But there's a reality that I, as a man, can't fully understand everything that a woman that I don't know is feeling and dealing with. And so there's a unique niche that we need godly women to continue to speak into the lives of godly women in a way that as a man I can't. And the scriptures continue to point us to, as we'll look at it here when we look at John a little bit later, point us to the need for our heart to be cultivated and encouraged, and that women are made in a different way. And our love for the women's ministry and gratefulness for it is ginormous, especially with the work that several women have done to organize and step out and be afraid of like what's going to happen. What if I'm rejected? What if it doesn't make sense? And all those insecurities. And now we have a ministry that is strengthened by women who have taken those leaps, and now we have a mentoring program in order to continue to equip women to continue to engage. And you see that it's proliferating and doing what Christ called us to do, is go and make disciples. And those are people who can make disciples. The mentoring program just started this fall, and we're excited to see where it goes. And we know we're not going to get it right the first time, but that the grace that the women are having for each other and for what this program could do could be a model for other churches of we want to proliferate what you've done. And then once a month they just gather and hang out and do a little Bible teaching, do a great job of decorating, and feel like they're in a homey environment and are able to connect and get away from the craziness of everyday life. So these are all things that don't naturally come to me. And to see it flourish, to trust the women with their insight, and yet they continue to honor us with requesting how to do things and making sure that things are being done well and biblically has been a great experience for us. And so we're just really blessed to have it.
Yeah, I just want to say that God gave each of us talents and gifts, and we can. This is a perfect way to use them for the glory of God. And we have quite a few ministries, so there's some place to get plugged into, and we just want to encourage you to do that. So Michael's mentioned most of them, and it just so many times you feel like you want to do something, but yet you don't. You know your gifts, so it's time to get started. So we encourage you to do that.
So in your small groups this week, we'd love for you to kind of dive into Scripture as normal. And so John 4, 7 through 42, it's It's a large piece of scripture, but it's so good. And it's when Jesus talks to the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman, where he continues to cross over some cultural boundaries that were of the day, and he crosses over in some different ways to be able to reach out to the women at the well, but also to women in general, and just trying to reach them, preach to them, and teach them, and then also just lift them up and help them to understand the value of who they are. Then Proverbs 31 goes through a long list of just some great attributes of a godly, holy woman living on this earth and what they should be doing and different things like that. And so we encourage you to dive into those scriptures this week. I know that John's verses in chapter 4 are going to be a little bit longer than what we have done before, but we'd love for you to go all the way to the end and see as that Samaritan woman listens to Jesus, is taught by Jesus, is just saved, and then goes back to the city and speaks of this man that she met. And then other people come to Christ. Other people get to know who Christ is through that. And seeing that ministry of that woman in that short amount of time is unbelievable to see how that works out. As she becomes a disciple, then she goes in and makes disciples, and how that works out. And that's just the whole core of what we do at our church. Men's ministry, women's ministry, children's ministry, youth ministry, everything we want to do is about making disciples. And so we encourage you to grab a hold of that this week.
And that brings up a point that I missed about that we have a women's outreach that's modeled similarly after that. Is a way to get women to come together and draw other women who don't know Christ. There's intentional ways, as Danny said, to get involved in that. So we'd love to see more women in Wamego come to Christ through this ministry.
So dive in this week. We're excited for maybe to hear some feedback from you about what you think about these, and we'll see you next week.